Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this presentation of Lean Sandwich Shop efficiency improvements. Just going over some Lean Six Sigma findings that we were able to discover and some process improvements that we'd like to show to the group here. So just to start out, we have an executive summary. Lean Sandwich Shop is experiencing quality and productivity issues. Approximately 10% of our sandwiches receive complaints which require a new sandwich. We performed a Pareto analysis. Here's the Pareto analysis. You can see here kind of the defects that we're seeing. So cold sandwich, so the sandwich isn't warm when it's delivered to the customer. Wrong dressing, spoiled toppings, wrong sandwich is delivered, spoiled protein and human hair. So based on that, the Pareto analysis, we can identify that 97.46% of customer complaints result primarily from one or more of the below issues. Either the sandwich isn't warm when it's delivered to the customer, we place the incorrect vegetables or toppings, or the ingredients don't meet quality standards. So that in and of itself is a problem, but it also leads to operational costs that are higher than necessary due to us scrapping large amounts of food and employees falling behind on orders throughout the day because they have to remake sandwiches. So our goal is to increase customer satisfaction and help employee efficiency by decreasing the amount of complaints and allowing our employees to focus on our customers as they come through. So we already covered this a little bit, but over the past 12 months, Lean Sandwich Shop has scrapped 10% of our sandwiches, costing us extra $120,120 in extra labor and scrap material. You can see here how I came to that, the tools that were used. On each slide, I'll have something down here that shows the tools that were used. So our goal is to reduce scrap rate from 10% down to 2% in 3 months, which will result in approximately $96,000 in annualized cost savings. This 2% was determined based on the company standard from other stores. So we do believe that it is certainly an achievable goal. So let's jump right into the problems and the solutions that we've identified. So these two problems, the sandwich is cold when delivered and incorrect vegetables and toppings are applied to the sandwich. We believe we can solve that with a single solution. And that solution is to reorganize the way that basically redo the workflow. Currently, we have 7 steps. We believe that we can actually combine a lot of these steps, which will increase efficiency, but it will also allow us to focus on the customer, really make a craft sandwich for the customized craft sandwich for that customer. So task 1, the customer would come in, they would tell the order what they want, what they would like to the employee there, and they would get the bread and get the protein, and then the customer will actually follow the sandwich along as it's being made, so that they can truly customize the sandwich to their specifications. So we can add vegetables and toppings, and whatever else this customer may want as they direct us to truly create a custom craft sandwich for them. And we can choose to toast it. The customer can choose to toast it or not. So as the toaster is running, what we'll do is we will actually have the customer pay for the sandwich. And so as it results in a lot less wait time for the customer, which means the sandwich is delivered warm to the customer, because as the sandwich is toasting, they're paying. There's about 5-second difference between the amount of time it would take them to pay and when we can actually deliver them the sandwich. So it's a pretty streamlined process that will allow the customer, that will reduce the complaints of not getting the right sandwich, incorrect vegetables and toppings, and also the sandwich being cold. So we feel like this is a really, really good solution. So kind of over and above actually what our scrap goal, having this increased efficiency in this process actually increases our throughput per labor hour from 5 to 6.67, which results in an annualized cost savings of approximately $164,000. And that's over and above the $96,000 that we already spoke about. So it's a pretty awesome solution in my view. You can see here the old process, it was 7 steps. It required 12 employees and 350 seconds roughly to make a sandwich. The new requires 9 employees and 172.5, increasing our throughput per labor hour to 6.67. So the other issue that we saw is that ingredients are not meeting quality standards. And so one of the solutions that I think we should implement here is, rather than letting some of our ingredients sit, we should purchase those ingredients every single day. Essentially what that will do is it will ensure that we have the freshest ingredients available to us. So we need to make sure that we train the employee who's purchasing those ingredients so that to make sure that quality isn't lacking. Just to show you kind of the value stream of the previous process. So here it is right here. You can see we get fresh fish, bread, and produce daily. Meat and cheese is every 3 days, and supplies are every 5 days. You know, what we would do, the things that we would change here are we'd make sure that we're getting all of our supplies, meat and cheese, and fish, bread, and produce daily. So that should hopefully increase the freshness. You can see here our process cycle efficiency is 0.003, which is pretty low. Here's the new process. So you can see here the change here is we're getting everything daily. We've streamlined this process. And so it actually increases our process cycle efficiency from 0.003 to 0.065, which is a pretty impressive jump. So it's a really great solution in our view. But essentially, a lot of that is going to come down to training our employees to ensure that they understand what is a quality sandwich, or what are quality ingredients, and really empowering them to ensure that they can remove ingredients that are not fresh. We don't want them to fear blowback. I think we take a conservative approach here. Like if we think it's not fresh, we should remove it. It's just not worth the risk of having those customer complaints. In addition, I feel we should install refrigerated bins along the sandwich assembly line to keep ingredients at the right temperatures. That should help improve quality and freshness as well. So now that we have our solutions identified, we really need to implement some control mechanisms. I mentioned before, training our employees is going to be incredibly important. So we want to ensure that they understand how to work in the new workflow. They understand what quality ingredients are and what is not, what ingredients that are not up to quality standards look like, so that we can ensure that we're delivering a quality product. Standardized work, post a standard work chart and a job breakdown sheet, so each employee has access to that and can identify what they should be doing. And utilize a versatility matrix for each employee to ensure they can actually do the job for which we're assigning them. And conduct a 5-5-5 audit for each employee twice per shift for the first 2 weeks, and then once per week afterwards to implement a culture of continuous improvement. And obviously, for those who are still struggling, we would continue to do 5-5-5 audits greater than once per week. An attribute gauge R&R, it will help us identify which employees need to be retrained on quality control. So we should perform that attribute gauge R&R once every week per employee who are selecting the ingredients and creating the sandwiches. One thing that would also be very helpful is control charts, so we can track our throughput per hour. And then we can identify times when we fall below our standard and when we go above it, so we can figure out either what happened, what went wrong that we can fix, or what went right that we should try and potentially implement in the future. And we should make that very visible to our employees so that they can see how they're doing. And we should create some sort of bonus incentive for employees for meeting or exceeding our throughput per labor hour goals while maintaining quality. That will ensure alignment among employees, management, customers. It's a great incentive, I feel, for the employees. And then we would continue to validate using validation model to ensure that we're actually generating the cost savings that we expect. So just in summary, by eliminating waste in the process via both excess labor and scrap, we expect to save approximately $260,141.58 annually. 96,000 of this comes from reducing scrap, and approximately 164,000 will come from increased efficiencies. By purchasing our supplies and ingredients each day, we expect to increase our quality and also increase our process cycle efficiency from 0.003 to 0.065. In addition, those are kind of the monetary benefits, but we do feel that there are other benefits. So increased customer loyalty when we're creating a quality product, better word of mouth, potentially driving more customers to our stores, and then a more efficient process that we can implement in new stores that we open, but also in existing stores as the company continues to operate and expands. I appreciate your time. I'll open it up for any questions that, happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. But certainly appreciate your time and look forward to helping to implement these solutions. Thank you.